Think I'm live. I think I'm live. Hello, everyone. I think I'm live. Hello, everyone. And I know that I haven't been live in a while, but I've been doing a lot of back scenes stuff that I've been getting done. So today I wanted to come on and show you guys this cute little piece that we're actually, I'm not sure if it's so little, but anyways, it's a piece that we're going to be doing in our group. I do have a group. Hold on. Let me put my stuff on silent, because if I don't, I'm gonna actually be bothered the whole time today. So let me get on here slightly. All right, great. When you guys come on, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Now, to let you guys know, I am streaming in 3 places today. I am streaming on YouTube. I am streaming in our group, which is our membership group, which is the Untamed Brush. And I am streaming on JJ Bean Designs. So when you guys come on, let me know where you're watching from and which one you are actually watching from. And make sure you leave some comments, because so far I don't see comments and I actually see people on. So I want to make sure my comments are working, because they don't always work. I am using StreamYard. So if you're watching in the group, there's actually a little bit up in the description to hit so that you can actually allow it to see your name, so I know who's asking questions or doing whatever. All right, so the first thing I want to go over is I want to show you guys this cute little piece that we're going to be doing in our group. So what is the group? It's the Untamed Brush. It is myself and Jill Herrera from the Gypsy Jill, and we actually have a group together that we are going to be teaching different techniques on furniture, canvas, other things, everything art related. So I'll be doing glass painting as well. The first thing that is going to be taught in the group is this back here, and I'm going to prep it today with everybody online. I wanted you guys to see what we're doing to get ready for this piece. The first live on this piece showing what we're doing on it is going to be next Tuesday, the first Tuesday of October. So make sure you log in if you're in the group. If you're not in the group and you want to get in on this, the link is in the description for you guys to join. All right, so this piece right here is a Lane cedar chest that was given to me, actually, and I was super excited. I knew exactly what I wanted to put on it when I got it, and it's just been sitting, and I haven't had the chance to do it, and then I was like, oh, the group is the perfect place to do it. So let me show you a little bit about it first. So it actually has fake drawers here. They're not real drawers. The bottom one is a real drawer. All the other are fake drawers. This is a fake door. What I want to do today is I'm going to use, and I'm going to fill these in. I'm going to show you how I fill in my fake drawers and stuff. But before that, I want to show you guys something really, really cool. So this, well, first of all, I'm going to teach you guys how to get rid of this thing. It actually came out because I already took the screws out, so it doesn't want to, came out already. I took the screws out, so I'm going to show you guys how to release them. So look at this. It still has the original paperwork from Lane in here. How cool is this? So if you don't know, cedar chests are actually something that can preserve so many different articles if you put them in there. But the problem with Lane cedar chests is all of the locks have been recalled because of the danger of them locking with someone in them. And honestly, that's what this one had. So this has 3 little screws on the back. All you do is just undo those screws and the lock literally pops out just like this. You can reach out to Lane to get a replacement lock. They'll send it to you for free. And what it is actually just a faux lock. It doesn't really lock. There's 2 reasons why I took this out. Number 1, I don't have the key. Number 2, you cannot sell it with the locks on it because they've been recalled. You need to take them out. So I'm going to take the lock out, but I'm not going to replace it. I actually have a would you bend piece that I'm going to put on here that's going to go with the design that we're actually going to paint on here. All right, so now that that lock is out, I'm going to close this real quick. So now you can see I can open and close it. Additionally, I thought this was all painted, and then I started to sand this down, and I realized it's got a veneer over some areas that match some of the painting. And what I did is I actually sanded in some areas to see where I needed to sand, where I didn't. This painting is on really good, so I'm not going to sand it down, and I'm not going to strip it. If this had been done by somebody like even myself, I would strip the paint off before I get to it, but I'm not going to, because it's actually, number 1, the top is a veneer and the fronts are actually on there pretty secure. What I want to do to the top is actually going to have liquid wood on here. If you guys haven't used liquid wood before, that's going to be a fun thing. I'm going to show on the group exactly how to use liquid wood to get your faux wood on the top. And then these legs, I'm actually going to do in liquid wood as well. So I wanted to have a wood top and wood legs, and then the rest on here. When you guys come on, please say hello. Let me know that the comments are working, only because I haven't seen any comments yet, and I do see people on here, so it makes me think, and I usually get comments, so I want to make sure my comments are working. If somebody could please comment, that would be awesome. The other thing that we're going to do on this is going to be really cool. So this is actually going to be an under the sea design. And it's going to be starting from deep blues on the bottom, going up to other blues with some whites. And then we're going to use spackling, actually joint compound, to build our actual design that's going to be on here for the texture. If you haven't done that before, it's really cool. We're going to be doing a mermaid tail with the mermaid fins. And we're actually going to use the drywall texture to make the tail, to make the texture in the tail, and to make the texture in the fins before we paint it. We're going to put our base coat on first, and then we'll draw out our outline, and then we'll do the rest. And again, that's all going to be done on the group. Today, we're only prepping on here. So let me start with what we're going to start with first. The first thing that I want to do is I want to fill out these lines. So what I use is just a joint compound. You can get this from anywhere. Some people use DAP. Hey, Danny, my cousin Danny's on here. How are you? Thank you for commenting. I wasn't sure if my comments are working. So you can use DAP. You can use any drywall mud. It's just a joint compound, and it works great on furniture. We're going to use that for the actual lines, but to fill these holes that I pulled the knobs out of, we're going to use quick wood, and this is my go-to for the holes. And the reason being is if you use joint compound on the holes, what's going to happen is the holes will actually, it shrinks up. And if it shrinks up, it's going to pop through the holes after you paint it, and you're going to see it. So I like to use the other instead. All right, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this joint compound. I've used DAP in the past. You can use Dixie Belle mud. You can use all different things. I prefer this only because it's cheaper than all the others, and I know what I'm doing with it. I'm just going to put it on just like you would for drywall, and you're just going to take it across just to fill that gap in there, because I do not want any of these lines showing through. I want to have it so it looks like a flat piece. That is my goal. And then what's going to happen is when this dries, I am actually going to sand it back just to make sure that I don't have anything outstanding on the areas, because I don't want to see it. And if I notice that some of the lines didn't fill right, I'm just going to do a second coat. It's not a big deal. My thing is to get this prep for you guys for next week when we do it on the group. I'm going to take a little bit more, and I'm just filling in these lines. It's okay to put a lot on there and then pull it back. I go up and down, so I make sure I get that little groove in there really filled well. And I'm going to put the rest of it over here. Again, I'm just taking plastic spatula that you could just get one of these at Home Depot. They're like 99 cents. Actually, someone told me they had them at the Dollar Tree too, but for 99 cents, I'll just get it at Home Depot. I'm in there all the time anyways. I'm just going to come across again. I'm just taking the excess off. Don't need all that excess on there. It's just more for me to have to go ahead and sand off. Now, this right here is not a groove because that's an actual drawer. So now I'm going to come over here to this, and I'm going to do the same thing. And this one I'm going to go sideways on. It seems to be filling it a little bit easier. This one's a really deeper groove than the other ones. I think it's because it was supposed to mimic like a cabinet opening, so it's a little bit more of a deeper groove. I'm going to go all the way down. I want to get all the way to the end of that because I want it to be all filled in. It's okay if it goes into the drawer underneath because I'm just going to sand it back anyways. And then the top here, I'm going to hold this up only because this very top one, it has a thing here, and I don't want a chance that shows through when I put my wood gun piece on. If you guys haven't used wood gun before, super cool. It actually is compressed wood fibers that are put into a mold that you can heat up and bend around different things. Actually, no, I'm going to leave that up. You can bend it around different things. You can heat it up. And it's great for an accent for your molds and different things. I use them for trim. I use them for accenting. If you saw my white tiger piece that I did, that was actually just a plain wood piece, and I accented it. Let me get out of the way here so you guys can see what I'm doing. It might help, right? And I just accented it with the wood you bend so that it looked like it actually had decorative moldings and things on it, but it really didn't. It's a great way to take a plain piece and give it a little pizzazz. This one's giving me a little bit of trouble. Here we go. And again, I'm going to take the extra, just bring it on to the next one. I'm going to try and go this way and see if I can fill it a little faster, a little easier, should I say. And as you can see, I got this onto this area over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring that extra here, but I'm going to come up like this, just so that I can make sure I don't have any overflow. I don't want to change this little groove that's over here. I want to leave that one. I hope everyone's having a good Sunday. I'm actually going to be relaxing after I do this. I just wanted to prep with you guys today. We're relaxing with the hubbins. I'm going to do some, I don't know what yet. We might go play some pool. Oh, 1 minute. I don't want to do that. So I just started going into the actual drawer. As you guys can see, there's a drawer here. Wasn't paying attention. So busy talking to you guys, I put that on there. So I'm just going to wipe it off. And then, guys, I have my paint pants on. I will wipe everything on here. Like, it's covered with stuff. So I don't mind about that. All right, so I'm going to close this back up. Now, I've got all of these done. What I'm going to do is I'll come back to this when it's dry. I will go ahead and sand it back so that I don't have any extra overflow onto it. And then all the extra I have in here, this bucket goes a long way. I tell you what, I use this bucket. I use this as well to put texture on canvases sometimes before I do canvas work. So if you buy one of these buckets, it was like $7.99 and it goes a ton of way. All right, to fill the holes, we're going to go ahead and put on some gloves because the quick wood is a double epoxy and it does kind of get on, if it gets on your hands, it just has this like feeling on it that it takes me forever to get off. So I always wear gloves when I work with the quick wood. My wedding ring's getting stuck there. So I buy my gloves over at Harbor Freight because I have tiny hands. I get their small. My husband has humongous hands, so I can't use his. All right, when you cut quick wood, it comes in like a tube. It comes in a little thing like this. And then I'll show you right here. It actually is like a two-part. So it has like the epoxy in the center and then the one on the side. You can get it in many different types of wood. I typically get, I think it's the oak that I get. Let me see which one I get. Of course, it's probably not going to stay on here, right? I don't know. I buy the same one all the time. But this is it right here. You can get it on Amazon. And then I put that rest of it away. And then once you get it in there, you don't need a lot either. You just take it and you're going to just keep massaging it until it brings it all together. It'll turn into a really light wood look, almost like a beigey tan kind of look. And the good thing about this is it actually sands well too. So if you bring it over the holes just a little bit, you can sand it back and you don't even see it. It's great. So now that you can see it, it's actually really light. I'm trying to get it so you guys can see. It's a really light color. And now I'm going to take a piece and I'm just going to roll it into what I think is the actual size of that hole that I'm putting it in. And I'm just going to slide some into here. And then I'm going to just apply it. And then I like to bring it back just a little bit so that it's easier for me to sand. And then I just flatten it down. Now, if you have, these are really small holes, so I'm not that concerned about it. But if you have really large holes and you're trying to fill them, what you would want to do is put tape on the back and go ahead and push it through until you reach your tape so that it doesn't go through to the other side. All right, so and then when these dry, obviously, and the other thing is this stuff dries pretty fast. It dries like within an hour, I think. I don't know. I usually go upstairs after and do something else after I do this. But typically it's like an hour, I believe, that dries. And when it dries, it's easy to keep going. I have another one that I use, which I'll go over in the group as well, when I have to replace moldings or if I have to replace an edge of something. And that one takes a little bit longer. And I use it instead of epoxy because I don't want that strong smell that comes from epoxy because I don't want to, by the way, I don't want to fill that one because it's actually a drawer. Because I do work inside, I don't typically work outside. I don't want to have to use something that I have to be careful with outside. So I like to use the NoVOC. So there's another one that I'll show you guys in the group that I use. This stuff's actually starting to harden already. That's how fast it works. I got to work a little faster. So usually I actually mix up quite a bit less and then do it, or I'm not talking so I can go a lot faster. And I'm just pressing it in and making sure I don't have an indent. That one has an indent. Making sure I don't have an indent where the actual hole is. Hey, Cheryl. And then I'm just, again, very important to wear gloves doing this because I don't know if you guys can see this. It like sticks to your fingers. And for some reason, I don't know what it is in it that just doesn't come out. This has a very, very slight smell, but it's not like a chemical smell. It's hard to explain what the smell is. It's kind of, my husband hates it. When he can tell, he says he can tell whenever I'm using it. It has this smell to it. It doesn't permeate the whole workshop, but it's definitely, you can smell it if you go near the piece. It does go away, by the way, once it cures, the smell. So you don't have that smell forever. It's just a smell while it's curing. I believe it's just from the epoxy and all that kind of. And I can't describe the smell. My husband does, and I can't use how he describes it because it's not appropriate. He's not always an appropriate person. Neither am I. That's why we're married. All right, so pressing this. All right, so now I have that in. I have all this left. I'm not going to be able to use it. Once you mix this and you combine your epoxy with the actual Quickwood, you cannot use it. So you do have to kind of toss it out. Again, this is how it comes in the roll. You only take off a little piece, and then it goes right back in here. And I have the cover somewhere else, but it goes into the cover. Cover goes on it, and it keeps it nice and soft so that you can keep using it. This is actually already starting to harden. When I was using it, it was starting to harden, so I was like, oh, I need to hurry up. So as you can see, this is what gets on my hands. I don't know if you guys can see that. And that's why I wear gloves, because I don't want to have to worry about trying to get that off my hands. So this is the piece that we're going to be doing in the group next week. I showed you guys how to take your lane locks out. Make sure you take them out. If you're going to replace it with another lock, get a hold of the lane company. They will send you a replacement. They are on a recall because there's too much danger with them locking, and children have had issues with fatalities inside of them. So you take your lane lock out. It's just 3 screws in the back, and it just pops right out. I am not going to replace the lock because I actually have, because I told you we're going to do a mermaid, I actually have a shell piece that's going to go right here that goes with the mermaid. This drawer is a real drawer, and that actually has some really cute knobs for it. But next week, what we're going to do is I'll have this all primed for you because it is already painted. I am going to use an adhesion primer. Wise Owl is my go-to for the adhesion primer. I love their primer. Also, another little hint that Jill taught me, believe it or not, because I was always brushing on my primers, and I'd be like, oh, I just hate brushing primer, and I wanted to keep spraying it, but then it's a pain trying to clean out your sprayer from primer, right? So she's like, why don't you just roll it on? I'm like, roll it on? You're genius. So I started rolling them on, and then what happens is if you have a little bit of a nap or something from your roller, you just kind of lightly sand, and you don't see it anymore when your paint goes on. It's a game changer for me, game changer. So I will have this completely primed and ready to go. We'll put our first coats on Tuesday. So if you do not belong to the group for the Untamed Brush, the link is up in the description of wherever you're watching from. Go ahead and click on there. You can get all the information to join, and I'll be finishing this up, as well as I have another piece that I think we're going to do in there too. I haven't decided, and it's an apothecary look cabinet that I'm going to make metal look. I think I'm going to give it an industrial look. So, and then at the end of the month, Jill will be teaching a canvas. So we're going to be splitting it up. So every month in there, we'll be doing canvas, we'll be doing furniture, we'll be doing glass art, we'll be doing all different types of art. We're going to be doing all different things in there, and everything art related. It's not just going to be furniture. It's not just going to be canvas. It's a little bit of everything. We're going to have guests in there. We have someone that's going to teach about Etsy. We have another person that's going to teach about her program that she offers, which is fixing your photos so that they are sale ready, which is awesome. I have another person that's going to probably come in and talk about decoupage and the best way to decoupage and how she decoupages. I know how I decoupage, but everybody does it different. And then I'm hoping to get some of our different paint people that we use in here to kind of talk about their paints that they offer and what is the pluses and minuses of the paints that we use. And so what the differences are so that you can make the best informed decision for yourself. I'm going to be honest with you. Every paint is different. Every paint has a purpose. I don't dislike any paints and I use them all. So I do prefer Daydream and I Love Hue only because those are the ones that I do use the most, but I use a little bit of everything just to let you know. And again, on the group, I'm going to teach you guys how to use liquid wood on the top of this and on the bottoms and on the leg so you can see how liquid wood is done. And that's a lot of fun. And that's from Retikit. And I use it all the time. So everybody have a wonderful day. It was glad to have you guys on here. And I hope to see you guys on the Untamed Brush in the private group. I'll talk to you later.